Welcome everyone to the very first video blog of my entire career. Second, but the first one for FantasyLine.com. My name is John Gustafson, the founder of FantasyLine.com, and I just want to welcome everyone to the first blog. Just going to cover a little bit of stuff today. First, I would like to wish my dad a happy birthday for yesterday, the 8th, and my mom a happy birthday for today. That will be Wednesday the 9th. Thank you very much for the camera, Mom and Dad. You guys are the best. Love you, and I could not do this without your support. First things first. 49ers. What are you guys doing? It's funny because I made fun of Matt Hasslebeck on Twitter this week. I told him that I was going to name one of my fantasy football teams the "We want the ball and we're going to score." And for those who don't know, it's Matt Hasslebeck. He did say that when he was at Lambeau Field for a playoff game. They did not win. He threw a pick 6 to start the game. It's pretty funny, but I like Hasslebeck. He's a guy I laugh at, unlike assholes that won't be mentioned who can't spell their name right. F-A-R-V-E. Spells far, not F-A-V. Alright, that's Barbara. Anyways, I digress. Like to talk about fantasy football. Don't really have a lot to cover today. Blogged earlier about a couple guys I like for Week 14, moving ahead for the fantasy playoffs. Unfortunately for me, most of my teams were garbage this year. Took some chances on some guys early, and not going to do that again. Not going to do that again. So, moving forward, 2010 will be a better year. Anyways, I got one team left. I'm off this week. Got the first round bye in my keeper league. Dominating. Anyways, I don't really like to toot my own horn, but trying to keep it down a little bit. My roommates are sleeping. And, yeah, so I got the week off, but dropped a couple names on there. Guys you can check out. Quarterback, if you need some help, Alex Smith, Jason Campbell. I like Campbell more than I like Smith. Still have a hard time trusting Smith from his days where he just sucked for the 49ers. But they're spreading the ball around, and he got to throw the ball 45 times last week to the detriment of the passing game. I'm going to fix the light real quick on this thing. There we go. That's a little bit better. Looks like I'm wearing a 49ers hat, not just a pink hat. But wear pink hat. Support breast cancer. Anywho, 49ers lose. Their freaking playoff chances are over. It's probably because I wore my 49ers polo, not my 49ers sweater, like I did the week before we went to the Jaguars game. And they won, much to my dismay as a Mike Sims Walker owner. He didn't do anything. So, Niners are out. I don't really have much hope for them moving forward. But, you know, with that said, the good news about them losing was that I could root for the Cardinals on Sunday night to beat the Vikings, which they did, handily. And I think they really exposed the Vikings, who are overrated in my book. But I'm a Viking hater, so what do I know? But moving ahead, the team that I think could surprise for a Super Bowl berth is the San Diego SuperChargers. Never really liked Phillip Rivers up until a couple years ago. He was a cocky player, and he just rubbed me the wrong way. But he's won me over the last couple years. I went from calling him Pooh-Face Rivers, something like this. He'd always make that face. He still does, but now I can laugh. Well, I still laugh at him, but I like him, so it's like laughing at one of my friends. So, the Chargers have won 7 in a row, are quietly 9-3, and have the second best record in the AFC, only to the undefeated Colts. While the Colts could run the table, that doesn't really impress me. I mean, the Patriots did it a few years ago, and didn't win the Super Bowl, so I don't think it really dictates anything. It's something fun. I know there's some talk on some message boards about the Colts and the Saints playing undefeated in the Super Bowl. That'd be pretty cool. Highly unlikely. I'd say maybe a 20% chance of happening. I could definitely see the Colts and the Saints running the table, though, to both finish undefeated. But whether or not they make it through the playoffs to the Super Bowl is a whole other story. I think the Who Dat, aka the Saints, are for real. And I was really rooting for them, but their cockiness is starting to get to me a little bit. Drew Brees went on a rant earlier this week about what goes around comes around. What are you talking about, Drew? Threw for 5,000 yards last year. We're talking about wins? Yeah, okay, well, you have a much better defense thanks to your defensive coordinator, Greg Williams. So, good luck to you, Saints. I hope you can keep it together. The Vikings will be tough. The Cardinals will be tough, but you will have that home field advantage. Kick the camera. Sorry about that. Eek. Anyways, my first one is going to be some growing pains. Hopefully it's entertaining, but very ADD-ish in case you couldn't tell. Back to the San Diego SuperChargers. I became a Phillip Rivers, well, what most people in some circles say, developed a man crush on him, because he just plays hard. A few years ago, they were in a playoff game, Indianapolis, actually, and he had a bum knee, played on it, was a stud. They won the game, and LaDainian Tomlinson did not play any of the same injury, and he was sulking on the sideline. Maybe that was in the playoff game against the Patriots. I don't know, it was a few years ago. Anyways, so LT was like one of my favorite players, but I was just really taken back that he would sit out a game and potentially for the Super Bowl, and he just didn't. Sometimes you got to play hurt. Is basically what I'm saying, and he didn't. And since then, it's kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, and I kind of felt like he was playing for the all-time rushing record, which he'll probably get, which I'm fine with because it's better that he has it than a former Cowboy in one Emmitt Smith. So the reason I think that the Chargers will make it to the Super Bowl is because if they get the chance to play the Colts in the AFC Championship game, that is a team they have owned over the last few years. And people are saying, oh, I don't buy it. Chargers aren't that good. This Colts defense is better than they've ever played. Really? Better than when they had Bob Sanders and they won the Super Bowl? I don't buy it. And they also have a rookie head coach. So I always forget the dude's name. I usually call him not Tony Dungy because that's what he is. But he's doing a good job, and they're undefeated, and Peyton's lighting it up. He's also welcomed 2 new wide receivers to the fantasy world in Austin Collie and Pierre Garçon, who came up huge last week over the Reggie Wayne and Dallas Clark. I hope that does not continue, as I have Clark and Reggie Wayne heading forward for my keeper league in weeks 15 and 16. So ultimately, I'd like to see the Colts not run the table because, well, actually, either way, well, we'll see what happens. But as long as Dallas Clark and Reggie Wayne play, I'll be fine. Yeah, so I don't really have a whole lot of insight as to why I think the Chargers could make it to the Super Bowl, other than if they run the table, which I don't know who they play the last 4 weeks, but I know they have a game against Dallas and a game against the Bengals coming up. Both winnable matchups for them. So they could definitely get that second seed in the playoffs, get home field advantage. Coming to California is going to be a difficult task for any team because most of the other teams that are playoff bound in the AFC are predominantly East Coast teams, other than the Broncos. But I don't know if they would play the Broncos, and even if they did, they'd still beat them at home because the Broncos are another overrated team. I just don't believe in them. So if they played the Steelers, who've struggled recently, or the Ravens, who have their issues, or the Jaguars, or let's say the Texans make it. I mean, coming to California, it's no easy task. There's a lot of distractions. It's a cross-country trip. It's not. I have a hard time backing any team that makes that trip, unless you play the Raiders, of course. Then again, the Bengals and the Eagles both could not beat them in Oakland, the Black Hole. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to the playoffs. I feel like there's a lot of good teams, and it's been a pretty interesting fantasy season so far. Disappointed that I don't have more teams going further, especially my Road Bowl team. Started off 5-0. We're ranked number 22 out of like 400 teams, playing our way toward the 30 grand prize, and our team just took a dump on us. It was really disappointing. We started out 5-0, and we sputtered out to a 7-4 finish and got bounced out in the first round of the playoffs. Well, that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed my first video blog for FantasyLine.com. It's much easier for me to formulate my thoughts on paper, but that is really, really time-consuming to write articles. And so I'll do a little bit of both. Definitely want to get the video blog going Yeah, thank you for bearing with me for my first one. And once again, I'd like to thank my parents for the camera. And hopefully I don't wake my roommates up. Hope you guys have a great day. Keep coming to the blog. Hit me up on that Twitter, @FantasyLion. Got any questions, comments, concerns, things you want to see, things you want to see me write articles about, or just to tell me that I should not quit my day job, feel free. John@FantasyLion.com. JOHN@FantasyLion.com. Holla!